What's up guys, welcome back to The Mindful Spoon. My name's Jen, and in this video we're going to cover how I healed my gastritis. Now, I've talked about this before, but specifically when it comes to like the supplements that I took and certain things that I did, but I haven't gone super in depth, so this might actually take a couple of parts. So this will be part one. Now, I have been able to reintroduce pretty much all of my food. I know some of you guys were asking me as well how I was doing based off of one of the videos that I posted a couple months back, actually almost a year back, where my gastritis came back and I just could not tolerate food again, and I was just having the same symptoms. So now all those symptoms are pretty much gone, and I've been able to pretty much eat everything, and I just have to say that it does take quite a while for you to get there depending on how bad your gastritis is. So in this video I'm going to be covering 5 different things that I did differently that I really saw a really quick change that I can think off of the top of my head right now. These range from very easy things that you can do right now to very difficult things that might take some time depending on your lifestyle and your habits, but with a lot of commitment to heal, you can get there. The first time I had gastritis, I think it took me about 6 months or so. Now, it did come back after, I believe, my marathon, and then when it did come back, it stayed for, I want to say, a little bit over a year, almost a year. But without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so gastritis, it's an inflammation of the stomach lining, and one of the main things that can lead a lot of people to this illness, to this disease, this discomfort, is your diet. I know it can be a little annoying to hear someone say, like, just change your diet, it's so easy. It's not, to be quite honest with you, it really isn't, and a lot of times we need guides for that. It does take time, and it does take patience. All of this takes time and patience and discipline and commitment. This goes with any health journey, really. Think of your gastritis as an indication that you need to get better, that you need to focus on your health, and you need to make better lifestyle habits. Really helped me heal my gastritis is changing my diet, my gastritis diet. When my flares would get really bad, a lot of the times I really focused on just main bland foods. I have a whole video about bland diets and what they entail, so if you're interested, you can go ahead and watch this video after. You really need to take your health seriously at this point, especially knowing how chronic your gastritis can be, because a lot of times gastritis can really lead to GERD. So what are some things that were in my gastritis diet? In the mornings, I would say I really focused on having very plain things. I noticed that a lot of times even egg yolks were really just not good for my stomach, so I decided to resort a little bit more to egg whites. Now, this is my own personal experience. This can be very different for you. This is odd, but I also noticed that cauliflower was okay for me, and it was something that I was able to eat frequently. And I know a lot of people can't usually eat that when they have gastritis, but again, it just all goes back to your own personalized meal plan. Something I can also help you with, I just came out with a $25 meal plan that you can order from me, and it's all personalized. So yeah, in the mornings I would have some type of egg whites or some type of oatmeal. I really got sick of oatmeal after a while, so I had to be very creative. This is why a lot of times in my recipe videos you see that I have a lot of oatmeal based things, just a lot of oatmeal in my smoothies. But it was something that I knew it worked, and I knew I just had to reiterate the same thing that worked for me, because I knew it was going to put me in the right track to healing. Spicy foods were awful for me. I used to be so obsessed with eating spicy foods, especially because I do come from a Mexican background, and a lot of our foods have salsas. The second thing that really helped me heal my gastritis was lowering my inflammation. Now, there are different types of inflammation. There's actually a good type of inflammation. Hard to believe, I know, but there's a good type of inflammation because sometimes you need that. You need that to be an indication to something, your body needs it. But there's also a chronic type of inflammation, which is what a lot of people tend to have when they have gut issues, stomach issues. A lot of people tend to take in different diets. Now, you have to be careful with that, because I notice a lot of people take in like the Mediterranean diet, which can be a little bit more acidic. So make sure to follow more of an alkaline diet. It doesn't have to be like to the T, but you can incorporate some things from the alkaline diet. That'll help you soothe some of the symptoms, kind of keep you on track on that healing journey while you're giving your stomach a break and you're really incorporating in the good things, the things that will really help you truly heal. I'm going to reiterate probably this throughout the whole video, but you can only rely on the medical system for so long. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I mean, they're always there to help you, and that's their job. But if you think about it, after taking those pills, whether it's omeprazole, any PPI or anything like that, what do? I mean, there's so many more things that you have to add on to that treatment. The treatment alone cannot get you there. There's a lot of things that can trigger inflammation, so I would say something like stress can really be a very like triggering thing. Your sleep patterns. Foods that can help with lowering inflammation are things like walnuts. I used to not even eat nuts at all, but I've been starting to incorporate them a little bit more because I do notice that there is some type of help with that. I wouldn't be eating too much. I would be eating a very small amount, just something that my stomach can tolerate. But if you find that your stomach cannot tolerate it, make sure you change it to something else. But look into omega-3 rich foods. Omega-3 rich foods are things like salmon, flax seeds. I used to always add flax seeds to my smoothies, and that really helped me. Also, just if I had any type of constipation as well, I made a list of the things in my mind and I kept them in my mind, things that actually worked for me and my stomach. And I found that salmon was an easy go. If I just didn't feel good and I needed to eat something, I knew that salmon was my go-to. Fish is a lighter meat, so it's a lot easier for you to digest, and it helped me get some protein into my diet as well. The third thing that really helped me with healing my gastritis is vagus nerve stimulations and relaxations. This is all from personal experience, but I always noticed that a lot of the times I would get these reflux attacks or gastritis attacks, and all these symptoms come at me at once when I was the most stressed. Now, a lot of people have this issue. They either have any type of gut issue that is stress induced. I particularly felt like this burning sensation, so I'm going to describe it to you. Let's say I were to get stressed right now. One of the first things I would feel is on my left side behind my neck is this nerve, right? And it's called the vagus nerve, and it goes from your brain all the way down to your stomach. That has a really clear connection, but I would very quickly start feeling the stress and just kind of like that tenseness go from the back of my neck down to my stomach. And once it reached like towards the bottom of my esophagus, like towards like the little sphincter right before it reaches my stomach, that's when I felt a tightness, and that's when I started feeling the bubbling up of the acid reflux. Probably until the second time I had gastritis. The first time I just could not believe the fact that my brain can actually do anything to my body. I thought brains are just thoughts and that's all they do and that's all they produce. But no, this was a really big thing, and this was one of the main things that triggered a lot of my issues and my inflammation. So I really had to work on my stress management. I think almost every day I'm working on my stress management, whether it's with meditation or any type of breath work. And I generalize it a lot because I know a lot of people have different beliefs, and I know a lot of people just do different things to relax. And that's the thing, you have to personalize a lot of these things or work with someone that can kind of guide you through personalizing something that can really help you. Is you can just massage the left side, like the back left side of your neck, and that really helps you out. I know a lot of times that's why people feel great when they get like shoulder massages, and then when you release the tension is when it feels really good. I'm gonna leave some examples down below as well of things that can be really helpful for your vagus nerve. Like I've mentioned, stress management can go beyond that. So one of the things that I started taking on to whenever I felt kind of anxious or a little bit stressed, or I just needed some type of activity that didn't rely on me always thinking, I actually took in coloring. So it goes back to your childhood days. I went in and I bought like a coloring book a long time ago, and I got a little box of crayons, and I would just start coloring whenever I just kind of wanted to relax. I did want to talk a little bit about posture, because one of the things that I do remember seeing in some of the articles and research that I did while trying to heal from all of this is posture. Posture was so important because a lot of the times the people that have acid reflux, it could just be something that's more of like a quick fix. For example, I noticed that for a long time I would sit kind of like slouch down. Even when I stand, I still notice that I sit slouch down. Just by sitting like this, you're restricting your stomach and you're folding in and it can be a little harder for you to digest things, especially if you have sort of like a weaker lower esophageal sphincter, which is what causes GERD. But yeah, posture is a really quick thing. I have so many things that I can share with you, and that's why I feel like I can make this into so many parts. But for now, this is part 1. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing, number 4, that really helped me out in order to heal my gastritis is I pretty much completely stopped drinking alcohol. And this took a long time for me to let go of. And it's something that I don't think I've talked about before. I think I've talked about like letting go of coffee, but I've never been one to smoke. So I didn't really have an issue with that, or it didn't induce anything to me. But when it came to alcohol, every other week or so, I did have like a drink or a couple drinks, and I was just so negligent at the fact that this was actually triggering and keeping me in that same spot. I wasn't moving forward where I wanted to, where I was healed and I felt better. It kept me in that spot. Obviously, like how they say it, everything in moderation. In this case, there's no moderation. I hardly drink it, like ever. And it used to be very hard for me socially because I felt like I needed to in order to be in a social setting, in order to kind of like make the other person feel comfortable or the other people feel comfortable with drinking. I think now it's come to the point where I'm not that big of a drinker and it's just, I'm so used to it now. So definitely bringing down the alcohol content within my diet, within my life, has really helped me. The fifth thing and the last thing for this video that helped me heal my gastritis: healing is not linear. I'm telling you, you can easily go from a 10 out of 10 to completely backwards to a 7 to a 5 worse in probably a matter of hours. Let's say the first thing I drank is caffeine, and I already know that having like a full cup of coffee just messes me up. That would probably bring me back about 2 steps backward. Instead of having a very heavy meal after drinking coffee or something like that, I would probably have some type of smoothie to really kind of wash it all down and drink enough water to wash it all down. And then I would probably bring in a meal later on during the day. These are little techniques that had really helped me, and just the mindset of like, okay, it's okay that it's not linear, that healing is not linear. It's okay that I took 2 steps back, but now I have to figure out the plan for the day. And it can be very daunting and exhausting to have to do that all the time. So that's why I always try to stick to something that really worked. So yeah, again, it all comes with listening to your body and how you feel. The last example that I want to give to you when it comes to healing is not linear, meaning healing is not just going all the way up. Healing is like a roller coaster. Is after the first time that I had gastritis and I was feeling a lot better and I was able to reintroduce all the foods that I hadn't been able to eat before, I actually started running marathons. And with that, I thought it would be so easy. I mean, now I'm fully recovered, I'm fine, I'm healed, I can do anything. But this is interesting. After running my first marathon, my gastritis came back. This is the reason why. I put in a lot of stress that I wasn't used to. I actually ran almost like a full marathon the week before, just in training, just because putting all that stress in my body and putting all that training in, I thought would work for the marathon. But it didn't. I wasn't eating or drinking water enough or taking care of myself enough for my body to be able to take in those 2 marathons pretty much. Yeah, that was pretty bad, and that was a mistake that I'll never make. And it's something to take into account. I have some clients right now that are struggling with working out. They for some reason feel like they cannot work out when they have gastritis. They feel like they have the reflux coming back up and they feel awful. That I can go a little bit more into on the next video, but it's important to realize and to listen to your body that sometimes you need to give yourself a break. Bringing up your nutrition, focusing on that, or changing up the exercises that you're doing. All right, I feel like I've covered a lot. I don't know how long I've been recording for. If you would like to work with me, I have just opened up my new services. I have a $25 meal plan. This is all a personalized meal plan. And then from then on, I have a $50 a month plan where you work with me one-on-one, and then a $75 a month plan where you work with me one-on-one as well. And then you get some extra stuff on the side. But if you're interested, you can go ahead and email me to themindfulspoonco @gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias. I'm always posting on there pretty much every day. Give this video a like, and I will see you on my next video. If you haven't already, subscribe and comment down below what you want to see. If some of the things that I have been talking about today have been things that you have changed or that you want to change, how you're going to change them. Let's put some action into gastritis and get rid of it. All right, guys, I'll see you later.